like to listen, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry for that. For your sake. I don't play accurately. Have you got the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lord Bracknell? Thank you. Oh, by the way, I see from a book that on Thursday night, 8 bottles of champagne are entered as having been consumed.
Yes, sir. 8 bottles and a pint.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment, the servants invariably drink the champagne? I ask merely for information.
I attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. I've often observed that in married households, the champagne is rarely of a first-rate brand.
Good heavens! Is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I believe it is a very pleasant state, sir. I've had very little experience of it myself up to the present. I have only been married once. That was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I don't know that I'm much interested in your family life, Lane.
No, sir. It is not a very interesting subject. I never think of it myself.
Very natural, I'm sure. That will do, Lane. Thank you. Lane.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ernest Worthy.
Oh, how are you, my dear Ernest? What brings you up to town?
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. What else you bring to it? Frozen spoon. What else you bring one anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Algie.
I believe it is customary in good society to take some slight refreshment at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
In the country.
What on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It is excessively boring. Hello? Why all these cups? Why cucumber sandwiches? Why such reckless extravagance in one so young? Who is come to tea?
Oh, merely Uncle Bracknell. And Gwendolen.
Oh, perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well. But I'm afraid Uncle Bracknell won't quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolen is perfectly disgraceful. It is almost as bad as the way Gwendolen flirts with you.
Algie, I am in love with Gwendolen, and I have come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you had come up for pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
I really don't see anything romantic in proposing. It is very romantic to be in love. But there is nothing romantic about a definite proposal. Why one may be accepted. One usually is, I believe, then the excitement is all over. The very essence of the romance is uncertainty. If ever I get married, I will certainly try to forget the fact.
I have no doubt about that, dear Algie. In fact, the divorce court was specially invented for people whose memories are so curiously constituted.
Well, there is no use speculating on that subject. Divorces are made in heaven. Please don't touch the cucumber sandwiches. They are ordered specially for Uncle Bracknell.
Well, you have been eating them all the time.
That is quite a different matter. He's my uncle. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolen.
And very good bread and butter it is too.
Well, my dear boy, you need not eat as if you are going to eat it all. You behave as if you are married to her already. And I don't think you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
In the first place, girls never marry the man they flirt with. Girls don't think it right.
That is nonsense.
It isn't. It is a great truth. It accounts for the extraordinary number of bachelors that one sees all over the place. In the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
Gwendolen is my first cousin, and before I allow you to marry her, you will have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Beg your pardon, Algie. What do you mean by Cecily? I don't know anyone of the name of Cecily.
Lane, bring me the cigarette case and handkerchief. Lane! Go!
Do you mean to say you had my cigarette case all this time? I wish to goodness you had let me know.
Now that I look at the inscription inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen me with it 100 times. And you have no right whatsoever to read what is written inside. It's a very ungentlemanly thing to read a private cigarette case, Algie.
Oh, it is absurd to have hard and fast rule about what one should read and what one shouldn't. More than half of modern culture depends on what one shouldn't read.
I'm quite aware of the fact, and I don't propose to discuss modern culture. I just simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily. And you said you did not know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, and charming old lady, she used to just give it back to me.
Yes, but why does she call herself Little Cecily if she's your aunt? From Little Cecily with her fondest love?
Dear fellow, what on earth is there in that? Some aunts are told, some aunts are not told. That is a matter that surely an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt. That is absurd. Give it back, Algie.
Yes, but why does your aunt call you her uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. Besides, your name isn't Jack, it's Ernest.
It isn't Ernest. It's Jack.
You have always told me it was Ernest. I have introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You look as if your name was Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You are the most earnest-looking person I have seen in my life. It is perfectly absurd that you saying that your name isn't Ernest. It's on your card. Here is one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, B for the Albany. I will keep this as a proof that your name is Ernest. If you ever try to attempt to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else.
Well, my name is Ernest in town and Jack in the country, and the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that does not account for the fact that your small aunt Cecily calls you her dear uncle. Now go on, tell me the whole thing. I may mention that I have also suspected you of being confirmed and secret Bunbarist. And I'm quite sure of it now.
Bunbarist? What on earth do you mean by a Bunbarist?
I will reveal you to the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you are kind enough to inform me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first. Just give it back to me.
I've produced your explanation, and pray make it improbable.
My dear fellow, there's nothing improbable about my explanation at all. In fact, it's perfectly ordinary. An old gentleman, Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew, who lives in the country at my place under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prism.
Where's that place in the country, by the way?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You're not going to be invited.
I suspected that. Now go on. Why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
When one is placed in the position of a guardian, one has to adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. Algie, it's one's duty to do so. In order to get up to town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Ernest, who lives in the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear friend, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is really pure and never simple. What you really are is a Bunbarist. I was quite right in saying you were a Bunbarist. You are one of the most advanced Bunbarists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
Well, you have invented a very useful younger brother called Ernest, in order that you may be able to come up to town as often as you like. I have invented an invaluable permanent invalid called Bunbury, in order that I may be able to go down into the country whenever I choose. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you tonight at Willis's, for I have been really engaged to Uncle Bracknell for more than a week.
I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know. You are absolutely careless about sending out invitations. Nothing annoys people so much as not receiving invitations.
Well, you have had much better time with your uncle Bracknell.
Well, I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of that kind. I know perfectly well whom he will place me next to tonight.
Whom?
He will place me next to Mary Parth, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husband is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It is simply washing one's clean linen in public.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, I won't argue about the matter. You always want to argue about the things.
That is exactly what things were originally made for.
That is nonsense. Well, Algie, what about Uncle Bracknell? Stop eating! Nonsense, you're nonsense. What do you think about Gwendolen, Algie?
Gwendolen? Oh. I think you should invite me.
Invite you over what?
Well,
For dinner?
yes.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not, Algie. Until and unless you allow me to have a word with your sweet little cousin, Gwendolen.
Well, if you allow me to come there, down into the country, then I could allow you.
Well, don't you think, is Lord Bracknell about to come?
Yes. Well, I think I can get him out of the way for 10 minutes so that you can have an opportunity of proposing Gwendolen. May I dine with you tonight at Willis's?
I suppose so if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who are not serious about meals. It is so shallow of them. That is Uncle Bracknell.
Good heavens, what costly tune is that? Make it stop, Algie! Ah! Algie!
Lord Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
Good heavens! Look!
Good afternoon, dear Algernon. I hope you are behaving very well.
I'm feeling very well, Uncle Bracknell.
That's not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Dear me, you are smart.
I am always smart. Am I not, Mr. Worthy?
You're quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Oh, I hope I'm not that. It would leave no room for developments, and I intend to develop in many directions.
Uncle Bracknell, please.
I'm sorry if we are a little late, Algernon. I was obliged to call on dear Lord Harbury. I haven't been there since his poor wife's death. Never seen a man so altered. Looks quite 20 years younger now. And now I'll have a cup of tea. And one of those nice cucumber sandwiches that you promised me.
Certainly, Uncle Bracknell. Good heavens, Lane! Lane!
Yes, sir.
Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers?
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
Not even for any money?
No.
That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm greatly distressed, Uncle Bracknell, about there being no cucumbers, not even for any money.
It really makes no matter, Algernon. I had some trumpets with Lord Harbury, who seems to me to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear his hair has turned quite gold from grief.
It certainly has changed its color. But from what cause, I of course cannot say. Thank you. I've quite a treat for you tonight, dear Algernon. I'm going to send you down with Mary Farquhar. She's such a nice woman, and so attentive to her husband. It's delightful to watch her. Damn!
I'm afraid I shall have to give up the whole pleasure of dining with you after all.
I hope not, dear Algernon. It would put my table completely out.
I have just had a telegram to say my poor friend Bunbury is very ill again, and they seem to think that I should be with him.
That is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is dreadful invalid.
Well, I think I must say this, Algernon. It is high time that this Mr. Bunbury finally made up his mind whether he was going to live or to die.
I will speak to Bunbury if he is still conscious. Now, if you kindly come into the next room for a moment, I will turn over the music program that I have drawn out.
Thank you, dear Algernon. It's quite thoughtful of you. I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few You should know, French songs I cannot possibly allow. But German sounds like a thoroughly respectable language.
Yes.
And indeed, I believe us so. Gwendolyn, you'll accompany me.
Certainly, Papa.